Hello, callers. Welcome to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Frenkie de Jong, as it has been reported that FC Barcelona are confident that the injured midfielder will return for the Copa del Rey Clasico. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, to conclude this episode, talking about Lionel Messi, as it has been reported that Barca are dreaming about signing Messi. Up to now, the player is yet to accept PSG's extension. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. In El Clasico that boasted some football's greatest midfielders on the field, Frenkie de Jong was by far the most effective and graceful of them all that night. The Dutchman delivered a sublime performance at Spotify Camp Nou that involved 5 chances created, 100 touches, and defensive brilliance from him. Immediately after the big results, however, news of an injury sustained by a former Ajax Amsterdam player has come to light. The midfielder will thus miss the Oranges qualifiers and is expected to be out for at least 2 weeks. According to reports from AS, there is maximum confidence at the Barcelona offices that Frenkie de Jong will be for the Catalans Copa del Rey fixture on April 5th against Real Madrid. Xavi's men have a 1-0 lead heading into the home game after two-legged tie. Riding on the high of 3 successive classical wins, the Blaugranas will be optimistic about the chances of eliminating Los Blancos and securing a place in the final. The hosts are expected to have a completely fit squad on the night, with both Pedri Gonzalez and Ousmane Dembele slated to return in time. The two players injured last night, Ronald Araujo and Frenkie de Jong, are also expected to be present, giving Barcelona the upper hand. The 25-year-old has enjoyed a special campaign this term under Xavi Hernandez and bounced back from the fringe of a spot of central importance. He is now a regular starter under the Spanish tactician in the 4 midfield setup. He has made 24 league appearances for Barcelona so far, scoring 2 goals and providing 1 assist in the process. Further, he averages 1.2 key passes and over 7 defensive actions per game, while creating 4 big chances in the process. Of course, Frenkie de Jong has been an ever-present in the starting 11 by Xavi Hernandez, and deservedly so. I think Frankie de Jong, one of the best midfielders right now in the team, continue to perform at a consistent basis. Of course, it is not surprising to see him putting up sublime performances as he have been doing it week in, week out. Against Real Madrid, it was such a great performance from him as well, and the player was really happy about his performance too. Of course, it is really unfortunate that he is currently injured alongside Ronald Araujo, according to what Barca announced after the Clasico, that those two players picked up some injuries after the Clasico win. And luckily enough for Barca, fortunately for us, it is the international break, which means at least this is a 2 week period where they will use to get better, to their injury should get well. And luckily enough, Frankie de Jong's injury is just short, just 2 weeks, which means that as soon as the international break is over, in 2 weeks' time, Frankie de Jong will be back in action. So I think it's not something that will really affect us. It's just something that will be good for us instead. Because had it been Frankie de Jong was strong enough and being called by the Netherlands national team, who knows what might have happened in the international break, with Frankie de Jong. So it might still be a blessing in disguise. Let's hope that he returns back after the international break. We have the Copa del Rey with the Clasico, still the Clasico again, just after the international break at the Camp Nou. And of course, that's a game that we should be able to win and to qualify. Even if we don't win, a draw will be enough for us to cross to the finals of the Copa del Rey. As Barca are in an advantageous position, we quite remember we won 1-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu. And of course, that will be a crucial game for us to ensure that our advantage is being maintained so that we can hunt for the domestic double. Of course, the Copa del Rey is a trophy that right now we are favorites if we can remove Madrid from that semi-finals. And of course, La Liga, we are in the pole position to win. So let's hope that Xavi does the right thing. And right now, we are in such an advantageous position. So the ball is now in our court, honestly. The ball is in our court. We can't just let these opportunities pass us by. Because Copa del Rey, we are almost there. La Liga, we are almost there. 12 points separating us from Real Madrid. After that wonderful game that we saw 2 days ago, and of course, a dramatic game, which means that's a title decider. So let's see how it goes, honestly, as the season is still long, no doubt, but we've just crossed mid-season already, and I think as more the time goes, we get a clearer picture of where our position lies or how our fate is going to be like in the season. Then on to the final story of discussion. Lionel Messi's future has continued to dominate the headlines in the footballing world as the Argentine forward looks to make an important decision in what could be the final stretch of his career. Messi's current contract at Paris Saint-Germain expires at the end of the season, while various reports claim that the Argentine wants to prolong his career at PSG and could subsequently sign a contract. Barcelona have continued to knock on his door. It appears the Catalans are determined to bring back their prodigal son, with Xavi viewing Messi as the final piece of the jigsaw. A recent report from Fabrizio Romano has offered an update on Messi's future, suggesting that the Argentine is still open to return to the Camp Nou. It is one of the major reasons why he is yet to sign a contract extension with PSG. Barcelona are still dreaming of his return, despite reports of his resentment towards Joan Laporta and the Barca board. It appears the veteran attacker wants to understand the Barca project before making a decision on his future. PSG, for their part, had their hopes of renewing Messi faced a major blow when they were knocked out of the UEFA Champions League by Bayern Munich earlier this month. The result raised questions on whether or not PSG are capable enough to keep Messi get his hands on the Champions League title once again. Simultaneously, it sparked Barca's hopes of bringing the Argentine back to the Camp Nou. However, as the club continued to look for economic situations to counter and avoid the financial fair play regulations, it will be interesting to see whether or not they can end up signing the little magician this summer. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.